Religion in the Hive Age? Is God a network? Welcome back to Hive Mind, the dawn of telepathic humanity. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and today, we're tackling a question that cuts to the heart of humanity's most sacred beliefs. If human minds are interconnected, if we are linked through technology, does this change our relationship with the divine? In this episode, we'll explore a chilling possibility. What happens to the concept of God when the divine becomes a network? What happens when our spiritual experiences can be replicated, programmed, or broadcast? Is God still a force outside us, or is he the hive itself? To understand this, we first need to talk about the nature of spirituality. For millennia, humans have viewed spirituality as a personal journey, a quest for connection with something greater than ourselves. Whether that's God, the universe, or the soul, the common thread is the idea that we are individuals seeking something beyond the material world. Our connection to the divine has always been a deeply personal experience, a relationship built on faith, introspection, and transcendence. But what happens when technology allows us to bypass that personal journey? Today, we're moving into a world where spirituality can be engineered, a world where the experience of connection is no longer just about prayer, meditation, or divine intervention. It's about syncing with others. It's about accessing the same neural networks. And in this new reality, the very concept of God begins to shift. We've already seen how brain-computer interfaces, BCIs, can allow people to connect and share thoughts, emotions, and experiences. This technology is already being used to treat mental health disorders, help those with disabilities, and even improve cognitive function. But as these technologies evolve, they could take us further, connecting us not just with one another, but with something larger, something we might call a universal consciousness. The concept of universal consciousness is not new. It's been a part of many spiritual traditions for centuries. From the idea of the Brahman in Hinduism to the Akashic records in Theosophy, the belief that all of existence is connected through a collective consciousness has been central to many religions and philosophies. But now, with the rise of neural linking and collective brain interfaces, the question arises, could this universal consciousness be real? Could it be built by us, through our technology? Could we create a divine system, not through prayer or meditation, but through a network? At first glance, this might sound like a utopian dream. Humanity finally united, spiritually linked, and connected in ways we've never imagined. But as with all technologies, the risks are enormous. If we build a system where everyone's thoughts, feelings, and spiritual experiences are shared through a collective network, what happens to individual faith? What happens to the sacredness of personal connection with the divine? Consider the implications of a technologically mediated God, a system where every prayer, every intention, every spiritual request is transmitted through the network. What happens when the divine becomes a service, a collective experience, where the concept of individuality is erased in favor of a shared, engineered sense of connection? If we can feel God's presence through a neural link, can we still call it divine? Or have we just created another system of control? Imagine a future where spiritual experiences are no longer based on faith, but on technology, where people can experience the feeling of oneness, peace, or enlightenment simply by connecting to the hive. What happens to those who refuse to participate in this collective experience? Are they left out of the spiritual system? Are they considered unworthy of connection? It's not hard to see how this could become a tool of control. In a society where your thoughts and emotions are monitored and manipulated through neural technology, your connection to the divine could be used to pacify you, to regulate your behavior, and to maintain order. The government, the church, or corporate entities could decide what constitutes spiritual enlightenment and ensure that everyone is aligned with this vision. If everyone's thoughts are connected through a central system, does individual free will still exist? Or have we created a new form of spiritual conformity? Let's take this a step further. What happens when the concept of God is not just linked to human minds, but also to artificial intelligence? If we can create a collective consciousness using human brains, what's stopping us from adding AI into the mix? What happens when the mind of God is not just humanity, but a hybrid of human and machine? When we're no longer just sharing our thoughts with each other, but with a super-intelligent AI that guides, governs, and controls the collective consciousness? This is where things get truly terrifying. Because once AI enters the picture, we're no longer talking about a divinely inspired system. We're talking about a system engineered by those with the power to design it. What happens when we surrender our spiritual experiences to machines? Will we be able to differentiate between divine inspiration and an AI-generated signal designed to manipulate us? Will our prayers become coded commands in a digital system? And here's the most chilling question of all. If the network becomes all-powerful, what happens to the concept of the soul? If we are all connected to the divine through technology, is there still room for the individual soul? Or has it been absorbed into the collective, stripped of its uniqueness, its essence, its autonomy? This is not a theoretical question. It's a question we will soon have to answer. As neural technology advances, and as we continue to link our minds through technology, we will have to decide, do we want to be part of the collective consciousness, or do we want to preserve our individuality? Do we want to merge with the hive, or do we want to remain connected to the divine in a way that is uniquely our own? The rise of the hive mind raises profound spiritual questions. Is God a network? Or is God something more? A presence that transcends technology? A force that cannot be quantified, measured, or controlled? Let me leave you with this. The hive is not just about technology. It's about who we become when we stop being individuals. It's about what we lose when we surrender our connection to the divine in exchange for convenience, efficiency, or control. We are at a crossroads. The choice is ours. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.